You have waited long enough, battlers. The wait is over. This is going to be the Poke Clash Season 2 Pokétubers remote PvP tournament, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but nonetheless, roll the stinking clip. Let's go, Pokétubers, dude. Battlers, right? So here, round one up against Matty F Baby. I do open up with, I'm not gonna say it. I won't say it. He opens up with the Altaria. This can be a pretty even matchup on both sides, kind of, depending on shield usage. And that's why I opened up with the I want to get rid of the Altaria threat. He was smart, though. He did end up bringing the Alolan Marowak, which can be a kind of a hard counter to, of course. If I'm able to get off of Bulldoze to deal the super effective against his part fire typing, then that can be clutch. But that is also why I decided to bring Bastiodon sitting right next to for the most part, because he did have a Alolan Marowak on his team. It was kind of a weird, double steel team composition, but it worked, okay? So he has the Lucario. Now, Lucario can deal neutral damage in the matchup. So right there, I'm not going to use a shield. There'd be no sense in using a shield, but unfortunately, the only thing that I have left is Lucario. So we were basically eliminated. Like, we got yeeted by their Lucario, and he still has the Altaria. It was kind of close, but there's really not much I can do. GG's game one. Let's move to game two. So for game two, I had to play it like it was actually the Kingdom Cup, unfortunately. So I decide to kind of go rock, paper, scissors-y. I do end up opening up with the Bastiodon against the Lapras, which obviously he TM'd the Ice Shard off of his Lapras into Water Gun because it is shiny. I mean, swag, I guess, respect for that. But he does end up swapping to Lucario. Obviously, I'm going to counter swap into my Altaria so I can kind of counter his Lucario and get rid of that threat, because in game one, I mean, it destroyed our Bronzong, it destroyed our Lucario. Lucario is very bad news. Lucario is very, very, very good in the Kingdom Cup meta, so that's not something I want to play against. I need to get rid of that threat as soon as I possibly can, right? So he brings out the Lapras again. Now, I have this Stone Edge built up and ready to go, so I get it off against the Lapras. He does have sitting in the back, which is going to be able to get rid of our Bastiodon with the Bone Club. I almost said Mud Slap. Bone Club. But things are kind of looking good. Things are looking upwards because he used his energy. Now I have my Altaria that's already close to a Sky Attack. I'm going to bring it out, do the damage. I think he gets off another Bone Club. Yeah, not going to do much. So that's GG's game two. Let's move on to game three. Game three against Matty F Baby. He opens up with the spicy fire chicken, dude. He's trying to cheat me. Bruh. No, dude. This is one of the hardest walls in the game. Bastiodon versus Altaria. It's kind of a joke. This is one of the tiltiest. This is why the Kingdom Cup is so tilty and so unbalanced, is because they're both very dominant, prominent Pokemon that you almost have to bring, and they completely wall each other. So, I mean, same thing with the Bastiodon-Lucario matchup, except at least Bastiodon has Flamethrower that can, TKO the Lucario, but Altaria is doing nothing against the Bastiodon. So, I do decide in this matchup right now to double shield the power-up punches from Lucario, because I want to get this Psyshock off against the Blaziken that he opened with for the game. Matty F Baby, GG's, dude. Before we do get into this next round, Matty F Baby did also upload our matches, so if you'd like to see it from his point of view, take a look. Do it. Do it right now. Why are you not doing it? Bruh. Click it, click it, click it. Right. So here is going to be battle one of round two against Swagron, who was already ace ranked during this best of three. So he knows what he's doing, as you can see. He opens up with the fire chicken. We gotta get out of there in that matchup. Lucario does not want to stay in. It's gonna obliterate Lucario. He has the Probo Pass 2 to counter my Charizard. It's not going good so far. I try to go for a double blast burn. Things are not looking good so far for game one, to be completely honest. It's not looking pretty, not looking pretty at all. I think that was a mistake there too, as I decided to use a shield on that rock slide. I should not have used a shield on that rock slide. Anyways, so he brings out his Altaria. I'm like, okay, I'm actually gonna try and be a little tricky. I'm going to bait, which I did. I got rid of the energy, but that probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, because he still has a shield and he can switch into his Blaziken. I should have just gone in with the Bastiodon against the Altaria, stayed in for a couple of minutes and switched out to the Lucario. I don't know. I could have played it better, but GG's game one. Let's move on to game two. Here we are. Let's go with game two in round two up against Swagron. He opened up with the Blaziken again. I opened up with I'm not going to say it. I'm still not going to say it. But he switched into the Altaria. It's looking pretty favorable. I'm feeling pretty confident now because I can go to Farm City with the Bastiodon. Again, this is the hardest wall in the game right now. There's nothing the Altaria can do. Obviously going to save the shields, not going to shield anything. I decide actually to wait a minute and let the switch clock build up again. Maybe that's a strategy. Maybe I was smart. I was like, you know what? I'm probably going to wait since the Altaria can't do anything. I'm just going to wait for the time to build up a bit, which it kind of paid off, but he was also smart at the same time. He decided to not switch out from his Probopass at all and to not use any shields. So that was played very well, played very smart. Anyways, I end up coming in with the Lucario. I don't want to get farmed, so I don't use a shield, but potentially I should have used a shield there as well. That was probably a mistake, but I do have the... He has the Fire Chicken. This could go either way. I mean, if he's running Blaze Kick and Blast Burn, right, and I have no shields, he's going to obliterate the... is still typing. But we do have this Bulldoze good to go for the Probopass, so... I have a shield still at this point, so it's pretty much going to be GG's. Obviously not going to shield the Rock Slide, just coming with Lucario, finish him off quick. GG's game 2. Let's go to game 3. Now, for game 3 here against Swagron, I didn't want to switch things up too much, but I did definitely want to switch my lead. For the most part, as you can see, it's kind of favorable for Swagron, so I keep the switch menu up. He swaps into the Lucario. I use my energy to get rid of the shield from that Lucario with my Lapras, getting that Surf off, and I decide not to shield the power-up punch. I think that was the best thing to do in that moment. I'm going to come in with the against the Lucario. Confusion is still going to hit really hard, and I don't really want this Lucario to get powered up anymore. No, be gone. I do not want it. No sirree. He comes back in with the Probopass, goes for the Thunderbolt, which I think at that range, it could have been TKO range. Either way, I might be lagging a bit right now. Catch up, catch up. There you go. Okay. Now he has the Fire Chicken. You can see I tried to do a last minute kind of clutch switch there. Unfortunately, it did not work. I think this could have gone very differently if I did get that switch in, but I mean, either ways, it's GG's. Let's move on to the next round. All right, this next round for this video is going to be up against Draco Games. Yeah, these were good games as well. I caught the Bastiodon lead with the Lucario. He swaps into his Lucario. I actually swap out to my because their Lucario has already taken so much damage. I know the Confusion can put in work and I can get a little bit of energy built up. He did actually opt to bring the Charizard, which is unfortunate, but I am able to get the Psyshock off, which would have done massive damage against Charizard. Charizard's flaky. Charizard doesn't want to take a hit. They potentially shouldn't have shielded it because now I can hard counter come in with my Bastiodon, and we are going to obviously be swapping into Lucario to get the power-up punches rolling and to keep the battle flowing, right? He decides actually to obviously go for the Flamethrower. We're kind of even on shields right now, but his Charizard's like Gonzo. It's history. There's really nothing he can do. He's shielded, so I'm going to shield as well, but that's going to be GG's. The Charizard is Gonzo. GG's game 1. Let's go to game 2. Game 2 up against Draco Games. He opens up with the Lucario. I open up with the Altaria. I did kind of win both leads so far, which is pretty clutch. I was pretty lucky with that, especially in the Kingdom Cup. He swaps out to the Charizard. I swap to the Bastiodon. I decide not to use the shield, obviously, because he's going to bring in this Lucario. I don't want to get farmed up by the Lucario. Lucario can get yoked really quick. I don't want those power punches to put in too much work. So obviously I'm going to be coming out with the Altaria. Now I did decide to shield and I read it correctly. It was a Shadow Ball that he was going for with that. So I use a little bit more Dragon Breaths after using that shield to try and deal as much damage as I can to this Lapras. I did decide to actually use another shield. I think it was the smart play because it was an Ice Beam. Now at this point I can swap out to the which for the most part is just going to win against Lapras. I mean, obviously it depends on what health you're at, if you shield, if they shield, etc. But good. I love he can put in work. Now he comes out with the Lucario, but it's GG's because I have the Sky Attack already good to go with this Altaria. Draco Games, GG's. Let's go to the next round. All right, the next round for this video, we're actually going to just do the final. Unfortunately, I did not record the battles that I had against Fit City, so we are just going to be moving on to the finals against Call Me Jake. These are very, very good battles. I hope you have stuck around to this point in the video because these battles are heated. Here we go in the final for the whole thing, for the YOLO up against Call Me Jake. Now, I open up with the Lapras. He did open up with the Altaria. Altaria is a very strong open for the most part, especially against my team. So it's pretty smart. He goes for the Sky Attack. I'm not going to opt to use the shield. I actually try and shield bait right now with the Surf, which we do successfully get a shield out of that. Now, at this point, I do want to get that Dragon Pulse, or at least get another shield. So I decide to use one shield. I'm going for the Dragon Pulse to hopefully deal the super effective against the Altaria. He opts to use another shield, which was kind of smart too, I guess, but I do end up bringing in the my team comp for round 1 wasn't necessarily the best. I should have opted for Bastiodon instead of but I decided to just bring the anyways. So neither of us have any shields. I'm really eager to see what he comes out with next, which it is the Bastiodon. I decided to actually swap out to my Lucario. I probably should not have. I should have just used the Bulldoze and played that out a little bit. But anyways, it is what it is. We were able to win the matchups so far for the most part. And he has the Bastiodon here. I'm going for the Bulldoze now, which my strategy kind of still worked out. So GG's game 1. Let's go to game 2. So we're going in for game 2 for the final against Call Me Jake. I have to play smart. I have to keep my head level. I don't want to be too cheesy, but I do end up opening up with the now. He opened up with the Bastiodon, so it's kind of an interesting matchup, especially for the first battle in the final best of 3, 4 finals for game 2. I mean, if I win this, then I win. But it is what it is. I mean, so I go for the Bulldoze. We actually do land it, surprisingly. So now I'm going to go for another Bulldoze against the Bastiodon to eliminate it or just get a shield. He uses the Smackdowns to just smack down me down, which was pretty smart because he can stay in with his Bastiodon. And this was kind of interesting, an interesting choice of mine. I'm not sure why I did this. I guess I wanted to build up energy to see what I could do with the other Pokemon that he brought. But I decided to farm a little bit against the Bastiodon just because it was so low in health, right? I can at least stand a chance, but he actually ended up bringing Altaria. I swap into my Bastiodon. He brought the Fire Chicken, the Blaze Chicken. He brought the Blaziken. I know that thing is going to have either Blaze Kick or at least Blast Burn for sure, and that's pretty much going to be GG's. Very, very well played. I mean, I'm able to get rid of the Blaziken with the Sky Attack, but his Altaria comes out and finishes me off. So, GG's game 2. Let's go to game 3. Game 3. This is it. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, dude. Let's go, Jake. What are you gonna do, my guy? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna open with? You're gonna open Kingdra? I actually don't think he ended up even using the Kingdra at all, so... did make me think. I mean, I know Kingdra can be kind of a strong pick in some situations for the Kingdom Cup. There are some strategies where if they have no shields and you have at least one, Kingdra is basically going to sweep with Dragon Breath, Outrage, and I believe Hydro Pump. But he ended up not using the Kingdra at all, from what I remember. So, I don't know. It is what it is. He just played the Rock, Paper, Scissors like he probably should in the Kingdom Cup. Now, look at this. Mirror Lucario leads, dude. Mirror Lucario leads. I decide to swap into my to eliminate the Lucario threat and to hopefully have a clutch victory by saving my own Lucario. That potentially still could have come out clutch. I don't think it was necessarily a bad decision. That's part of the whole reason that I brought for the Kingdom Cup was some safe swap strategies like that. Now, with his Bastiodon, he is obviously going to go for the Flamethrower against me. Did you see that? I swapped into Altaria, into his Bastiodon. He mirrors the swap into Blaziken. We talked about it afterwards too. He's like, that was a godly switch. Playing some super mind games. I think it did work out. It was the smart thing for me to do at that point, to play those mind games. Now, this was the turn of events for this best of 3. He had the Flamethrower good to go. I got a shield bait with this Psyshock because he still has a shield left. Right there, dude. Right there. I should have gone for the Psyshock. I didn't have enough energy for Bulldoze. I did end up going 3-2 out of the 5 rounds. Obviously, the 2 losses that I took were very, very close against very, very skilled battlers. I want to say GG's to both of you guys, Swaggeron as well as Jake. Thank you very much for the battle. It was a lot of fun. It was so much fun. I really hope if I do end up getting invited to season 3 of this Poketuber tournament, whatever this is, I really hope that we don't do something as tilty as the Kingdom Cup again. Please, can we do something that is actually an enjoyable and open, a strategic, a fun meta, not something that is as tilty as the Kingdom Cup. But I do want to say thank you very much to Sonor Oman for extending the invitation for me to compete in this tournament and to be part of this event. It was a huge opportunity and I enjoyed it very, very much. I think all of us enjoyed it a lot. So GG's to Swagron, GG's to Call Me Jake, GG's to the battles, and GG's to the video because it's all over. If you did enjoy this, subscribe. If you feel my vibe, power up punch the notification bell for all that PvP content. That is it for this video. We'll see you in the next video. Please have a good stinking day.